This is the voice of freedom. We are not one voice. We are many. We are your voice. But we can only be effective if you use your voice. Your voice. This is the voice of freedom. We will not hide from the truth. We will ask the hard questions until we are sure we have the truth. Welcome to the voice of freedom, where your voice will never be silenced.
Well, good evening. Welcome to bloody Tasmania, where it's cold. Bloody cold. Well, enough of that, I guess. I came prepared, if nothing else. I don't know what I'm prepared for, maybe robbing a bank. But, we'll see how it goes. How are you, folks? It's going to be short tonight. I say that every time I get on here by myself and I wind up talking for 2 hours. So tonight it will be short because I've only had about 2 hours sleep. We've had a big day today. Left Sydney at 4:30 this morning. Well, left where we were in Sydney at 4:30 this morning. Flew to Launceston. And what a beautiful part of the world. Haven't been to Tassie before, and I'm really enjoying it. It's a lovely part of the world. And the water flowing down the gorge at the moment is staggering. A phenomenal amount of water. Pretty muddy, so a lot of it must be coming out of the mountains, I dare say, because Tassie is pretty well known for its clear water, I thought. But there you go. I've only been in town for 6 hours, and there you go. Hello to everybody. Let me have a bit of a look. Pamela. Hi, DJ. Melissa's there. Nikki's in the house. Imola. What a lovely name. Imola. Just brings back memories of a racetrack for me. But there you go. Each their own. Hi, John. I've got to try and blow all this up a bit so I can see what you're saying. Okay. I'll let you say hello. Hello to everybody. I come from Tasmania but moved to Queensland for that very reason. Too bloody cold. Ain't that the truth? Well, like I say, I've come prepared. If the full balaclava is not required, then one moment. Then I have the equally good-looking beanie, just in case. And hang on one moment. I want to say a big thank you to Black Sheep, who is my host in Tasmania, because when I got off the plane today, he presented me with this. Now, okay, it doesn't look like much, but can I tell you, this is a Milwaukee heater jacket. You put batteries in it and it keeps you warm. I'm blown away. They don't have things like this in Queensland. I'm staggered. I can't wait to wear that probably over the top of the other one I've got tomorrow. A lot of fun. What a beautiful part of the world Tassie is. All right, folks, we should have a bit of a chat about the week, I guess. What a week it's been. I guess first and foremost, I should thank the Bosies for inviting me along on their tour. It was a great pleasure to be beside the great man as he was laying out parts 1, 2, and 3 as A1s see it at the moment. Pretty exciting sort of a week all round. No, we weren't allowed back into any deep intel or anything like that, although we did have conversations which were enlightening, I guess is the best way to describe it. We are pretty interested in what's going to happen in the next week or so. We hesitate to give too much about dates, you know that. But if you did watch any of the presentations from RB over the last week or so, particularly last night's, you would understand that the 28th in America, the 29th in Australia, is a key date. Now, what makes it key? What does make it key? Essentially, the key reason for it is it's about a week before the US presidential midterms, or the US midterm elections. And that is going to be crucial. In fact, I can't see how they can have an American midterm election without clearing up the 2020 mess. And that, of course, will happen. there are a lot of talks, a lot of talk at the moment. Of course, there was a subpoena handed out to 45. You know who 45 is. If I say his name, I'll get banned on this channel as well. So 45 was subpoenaed. We expect him to be arrested, if not in the next 24, 48 hours, but sometime in the next week. I would expect that to be part of a big move to show folks what's going on. And I have a sneaking suspicion it's going to relate back to that raid at Mar-a-Lago. The thing about police raids is they're fairly broad and gross in the sense of they take everything that they want to take and then sort through it later under the guise of their warrant. Now, just ask yourself, if you had documents that you were trying to get into the legal system and weren't being allowed to for one reason or another, what if they were swept up in a search like that and taken out for evidence without being viewed in any way? That's just another box that they picked up and took out. Under the American legal system, anything that was taken in that raid becomes admissible in court. Anything, not just the boxes that they thought 45 had done whatever he'd supposedly done to them, but also everything else. And that everything else could well be the complete audit of 2020's little shindig, November 2020's little shindig, the complete audit, all the proof showing where the votes went. Because it was taken during a raid, I'm sorry, I'm a bit slow, I'm very tired. Because it was taken in a raid, it makes it legally admissible, whether or not the prosecution wants it admitted or not. The team representing 45 will be able to bring it forward and use it in evidence. Great way of getting it introduced into law, really. So that's something to look out for. Whether or not it happens that way, who knows? Not into making big predictions outside of November the 8th. If nothing has happened by November the 8th, then come November the 9th or 10th, you will see me making a great deal of apologies, because I do not know how this can possibly go forward and us have a positive outcome if November 8 goes ahead. It would be very, 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 very difficult. Couldn't see anything on the other channel, Sandra. I've been banned on about 4 of them. Of my YouTube channels over the last week. Thank you, Ricardo. That's not a big issue, other than the fact I won't be able to broadcast on them for 3 months. So None 2K is the one we've been able to keep alive. Voice of Freedom is also alive. We are live at the moment on Rumble and on Project Matilda. So Project Matilda and Rumble obviously will not censor us. YouTube will do everything that they possibly can to censor us. And, well, I'm surprised I'm still on Facebook, if I'm honest. So either they're not watching or they're not watching close enough. So that'll change in the next few days. I have no doubt I'll be kicked off that. Okay, back into the next week or so. What could, would, should possibly happen? You've got to understand the Black Hats, while it is a war and we say we've won, there are still people out there fighting. And those Black Hats are fighting. I don't know if you've ever had to put down an animal. Maybe you hit a rabbit or something on the road one day. It wasn't quite dead. You had to wring its neck or something to put it out of its misery. You would understand that if you are trying to kill something, it struggles harder than it ever has in its life before, because life is life. I think what we're going to see is a lot of Black Hats struggling for life. What we're looking at the moment, Rumble won't let you comment, Sandra. That's a bit rude. I don't know. I can't tell much about that at the moment from where I'm looking at it, but I will look into it afterwards. Bosie is insane, and A1 is not and never has been a registered political party. Nathan, what a shattering... I'm going to put your name up for that, Nathan, because that is one of the most shatteringly intelligent statements I've had come out of a troll yet. One of the most obvious. Absolutely spectacular. Bosie is insane, and A1 is not and never will be a registered political party. Well done, Nathan. You've cottoned on, you dick. Well done. I'm pleased for you. You're starting to wake up. Let's see how much further you can go with that now, Nathan. Let's see if you can pick up and follow that little string and see where it leads you. Can I get live notices on Rumble? I have no idea. I've been broadcasting on Rumble for 3 days and haven't even seen one scintilla of the screen of it. So I will have to go in and have a look, but not tonight. Very tired. Very, very tired. Galactic Larrikins kept me up all night last night. When I say kept me up all night, they went to bed and I stayed up a bit longer. Well, when you're packing, right, it's been 4 years since I've been on a plane. I was a bit nervous about being allowed on it today. I didn't think it was going to happen. But I had extra luggage to bring, obviously, and you got to be, when you're flying with Jetstar, you've got to be within a scintilla of the weight. So I had 40 kilos underneath and 14 kilos of carry-on. And I needed to pack all that last night after the show so that we had the gear that I needed to bring down here. We haven't got the full show down here. Not all the cameras, and unfortunately not the Galactic Larrikins. Next time, Tasmania, next time I will bring the Larrikins. Although, what is the go? Here's something for the people of Tasmania. These people that run the boat to your state, what are they thinking? If you want to get on the boat and come for a holiday to Tasmania, you better have a lot of money, because they're going to take all the money you would spend on holidays just to get on the boat to get here. It is amazingly expensive, stupidly expensive, cost prohibitively expensive, and I can see Tasmanian tourism dying in the arse. A very sad state of affairs. Unless you're prepared to fly to the state and hire a car, you're done. It is phenomenally expensive to come across on the new boats that are coming from their new terminal in Geelong, and that's apparently where all the new costs have come from. God, love them. I want to say we were looking at coming over by car. I was going to bring Laura and the dog, and it was $1,800. I think that's what we worked it out to be, $1,800 with a car and a trailer. So just bloody ridiculous. Yes, Nathan. It is true, but keep following the line there, Nathan. See what you can figure out about that. What does that really mean, Nathan? I'm not going to help you anymore. Push a little harder. You'll squeeze it out eventually. There is a scintilla of truth in there for you to grab, my friend. You just have to find it. Let me have a look. What else is here? Yes, if you're registered with Rumble. Yeah, I'm registered with Rumble. Maybe you can't comment unless you are registered with Rumble. Maybe that's what we're trying to say. No, you haven't. You haven't got me at all, Nathan. I'm just deciding how badly I'm going to take the piss out of you, and I'm really tired at the moment. So you're probably going to get away scot-free tonight. But poke your head up tomorrow night. We'll see what we can do for you. The boat is supposed to be government subsidies. Black Sheep is in the house. We've just had dinner together, Black Sheep and I. Lovely, lovely, lovely meal. I don't know if you saw it, buddy, but I am plugging the Milwaukee warm coat. I mean, seriously, this is just a sheer piece of brilliance. I'm trying to find the battery for you. It's in a pocket. There are many pockets. I may not have found the right pocket. No, I seem to have lost the pocket. Oh, no, I found the battery. Here we go. See? I am wonderfully excited about this and can't wait to turn it on. You might see me with hair standing up on top of my head tomorrow night, the way it's going. Speaking of tomorrow night, we're going to do a show. Pardon me. Alex Jones sentenced to death on October 24. I wouldn't believe that too much if I were you. I think it was earlier than that. No, that's a bad thing to say. We will, have a great show tomorrow night at the North Motton Hall. Now, where is North Motton, I hear you ask? I know, because I asked that. Now, North Motton is somewhere between Penguin and Ulverston in the northwest of, I believe, Tasmania, the northwestern area. So we're heading off to the North Motton Hall tomorrow night. We'll have 100 eager preppers floating around. And I'm looking forward to catching up with Kush, and I think Phil is down there too. They'll bring us up to speed with what they're doing to try and make life easy into the near future, and it could be quite an interesting show given the talk of lockdowns and whatnot in the future. There was some talk of lockdowns, so you should be prepared. The preppers will bring you up to speed with what you should have already if you don't already have it. And if I were you, I'd be going out Sunday morning and trying to get it, because I reckon the next week to 10 days is going to hold something very interesting for us all. I don't believe that any lockdown is going to be an extended one. I don't think that you'll find that it'll be terribly long. But I do believe that it will be a lockdown of some proportion, 3 to 7 days, potentially. It'll depend on what area you are in, how much of the filth there is in your area. And I'm led to believe that there is a lot of filth in a lot of areas. So if you're part of the filth watching this, we're coming. Can't wait. Look forward to seeing you. I won't be there, but I'll probably turn up at your trial. Really looking forward to seeing you and ending this shit. We all are sick of it. We all need to get through this, move on, and start our better life. And hopefully, if you came to the meetings over the course of the last week or so with Mr. Bosey, you'll get the idea that it's all about community. It's all about lifting leaders from your community, not elevating Ricardo Bosey to any great statesmanship level. Oh, sorry, Nathan. Did I give you a hint there? There you go. Follow that string, mate. See how you go. It's all about raising you up as a leader. Not Nathan, of course. Nathan's just a pissant little keyboard warrior who likes to get in the background and Twitter away, and I've given him far too much air now, so I won't bother again. Coco, thank you very much. I don't do anything, honey. I just go to the next town and start talking. So I'm happy to do that. Project Matilda, yes. Okay, so people want to know what was taken down and where wasn't taken down. Okay, Bosey stuff. We had a technical issue in, all blended together, Canberra, I want to say, where you guys didn't hear the audio coming off some of the videos that Rick was playing from his laptop. We have fixed that, and in fact, I have it, if I am here right now. Let me see it. I do have it. It's just finished downloading. So I will re-upload that second show with all the correct audio bits into it as soon as I finish this live. I will put it up on Rumble, and I don't know that I'll put it up on... No, I won't put it up on YouTube, but it will be on Rumble and it will be on Project Matilda. I'll upload it there this evening. So we'll make that decision, and that will happen tonight. So for those of you who want to go and have a look at that, I'll put those back up. For those munted tards who think I'm making a fortune out of this, you assume everything I do is monetized. You would assume wrong, especially the Bosey stuff. No point monetizing that. It gets taken off immediately. So if you're going to accuse me of things, please do your research, you numpty, because I couldn't be bothered arguing with you, that's for sure. So you've been told, Redneck, what's happening here? You've been told by a possible friend of mine that the... I don't understand. So you've been told by a possible friend of mine that the millions in the ISA are getting few and far between, Carl. Well, I'm told that there is a parallel system running now. The GFS is running, or QFS rather, and it's running in parallel. So I'm pretty confident that for people who are worried about money that's in their bank, if you go to bed tonight with $17 in your account, you'll wake up tomorrow morning with $17 in your account. You're not going to be waking up to be a millionaire. There will be in the future some access to a lot of money, I believe. You will get a reasonable, and I mean reasonable by our standards, lump sum. What we might also find, certainly what we are being told, is that prices are going to go back to, I find it hard to believe, but mid-1950s levels. And therefore, the money that you do have will go a lot further than it would in today, if you like, especially seeing as the bastards we're trying to get rid of are intent on taking all your money from you, all your land from you. And I've been getting some really interesting intelligence over the last couple of days about what the banks are doing, and particularly about digital identification and digital land grabs. You need to be very careful of what you're signing at a bank if you own your land, folks, because what they are trying to do is get you out of your land and make it the banks. That's why they are putting out mortgages, interest rates and all that so much at the moment. The stress is going to ramp up through the roof. The cost of living is going to go through the roof. You may have seen in the last few days they've announced 50% increases in power and other sorts of utility bills. A whole range of measures to make sure we have no money. All right. And if you can't have money and you happen to have a land or a house, then you will sell it probably to the bank, and they will wind up owning everything. You will wind up owning nothing, and you will be happy. You see where that's going? So that's what we have to avoid at all costs. Now, there are also some interesting news about ATMs in the country. Now, a lot of people have queried ATMs being able to work in whatever the next round of the financial system might be, whether it's gold and silver, whether it's Bitcoin or blockchain or fiat. Well, if it's fiat, the ATMs are going to stay the same. But I am reliably informed that a private company, two private companies, have taken over the ATMs of the major banks in Australia. So the major banks have diversified or got rid of their ATMs and their responsibility for the ATMs and handed them to a private company. Now, I don't know whether that private company is, like an armor guard or something like that deals with cash. I've got no idea who the company is. What I do know is that their machines are being fitted or refitted, refurbished and run out so that they can also accommodate crypto. So you can exchange crypto for cash through an ATM. I only say that because it's a very interesting development alongside all the other interesting developments that we're having. So if ATMs are going to be able to access your crypto and you are able to convert your crypto immediately, that indicates to me that there's some interesting things happening in the banking world. Redneck Rumbler, you're in Townsville? Or you're saying g'day to Townsville? Hello, Townsville. There was talk that I was going to come to Townsville at the end of November. Does anybody in Townsville want me to come to Townsville at the end of November or early December? Contact Cherie at vofhq.com if you want that. We are meant to be heading to Rocky, I think, at some stage. That's Rockhampton for those of you in southern parts. Mackay, Townsville, Cairns, and Hervey Bay. Hello, Di. You've had a big week. Di owns the Pier House, it's called. If you are looking for a B&B in Hervey Bay, go and see Di at the Pier House. It is absolutely magnificent. What was the date of this video, just in case it gets hijacked? I don't know. That might be another part of the question. Crypto is a scam. Just get the people to use CBDC. Journeyman. If I knew what CBDC was, I probably would be a much more educated man. Just a thought. D-Duck, Nathan's behaviour warrants a fifth. Oh, I haven't seen Nathan. I haven't seen him pop up again yet. Should I block him? I can give him 5 minutes. Or maybe you've discovered, folks, that I have a moderator now. And it's not me. I'll tell you a little secret, folks. I got a few of them. So I've only given them basic instructions, and that is I don't mind dissenting opinions. You're allowed not to agree with me because that seems quite fine. I don't expect everybody to agree with me. I would expect you to be polite, not agreeing with me. I wouldn't expect you to start carrying on like a pork chop. And if you do, I dare say one of those mods might just remove you. So if you want to stay in the chat, all you need to do is be respectful, not necessarily to me, but just of what you're saying. We have people here who enjoy the conversation and who enjoy the chat conversation as well. And I guess half the fun is watching you numpties come in and try and say something stupid. But anyway, I want you to come to Hamilton. Angela, are you talking about Hamilton, Victoria, or Hamilton in Queensland? There's a Hamilton in the city, and I have a history in Hamilton, Victoria. I have a long history in Hamilton, Victoria. I went to school in Hamilton, Victoria. I had my first job in Hamilton, Victoria. In fact, if I'm honest, I had a few firsts in Hamilton, Victoria. I first got married in Hamilton, Victoria. I never got second because I haven't been married a second time. What else did I do? I had a baby, but that wasn't in Hamilton. She was born in Horsham. But yes, Hamilton, Victoria, nice little place. I haven't been there in about 15 years. When am I going to Tassie? Rob T. I'm sitting in Launceston. I'm in Tassie. I'll be here for a week. I haven't got the Launceston show dates in front of me, and if Cherie's watching, she might put them up in the chat. I don't know where the event is. I could ring someone if I knew where my phone was. In Launceston, not completely sure. It's in a pub somewhere. I know that much. Tomorrow, it's the North Motton Hall up between Penguin and Ulverston. After the Launceston show on the 30th, we head back down, Black Sheep and I, to the Mornington Inn, which is, Mornington, somewhere near Hobart. And we'll do a whole week there. So Monday night, we'll have a reasonable size show there. Fitz will be on to have a bit of a natter, and we'll do a little bit of common law. And then during the day, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday next week, we'll be doing Magna Carta 1215 lessons. So if you're interested and happen to be near the Mornington Inn down Hobart Way, come along. Love to see you. 2 hours between 1 and 3 on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of next week. On Friday, we'll do a free-for-all. I'm not sure where we'll do that from yet. It might be the pub, but there is something else in the offing that could be a little special. I'll try and hook that together in the next few days, and we might be going to visit someone's property. We'll just see what comes out of that. Could it be a My Place Tasmania? Don't know. We might ask that question and see what happens. Now, speaking of my places, my. Aren't there some interesting things going on with my places and people's councils around the place? So, if you want a my place, it's not difficult. All you need is a place to have my place. Darren Bergwerf on the phone to tell you how best to organise my place. And then a whole bunch of doers to go off and help make my place a reality, your place. So if you've got that happening and, you've got it in train, or you need to get a hold of Darren and find out a few more details, and get a hold of us here. We'll try and do our best to help you out. I would caution people, there isn't any reason to be fighting over who's going to establish a My Place. I don't care whether or not there is a My Place on every corner of every town. I think it would be wonderful. If that's what you want to do in your town, then go ahead and do it. You might be able to organise friendly competitions between the My Places, talent quests and the like, or, maybe community events, community fixer-upping things. Get in league with your community council or your people's council and go and do things. Don't attack each other. Go and help the community. There's no point in bitching, moaning, and arguing about who does what, where, and why. Get out and do something. It doesn't matter if you're going to go to one group or another, or join 2 or 3 or 4 My Places. If you're prepared to put the hours in and the time in to make the My Places that you join a success, then great. Nothing better. So please, if that's something you're interested in maybe getting on and starting, then get in touch. We would love to help you out. Darren Bergwerf is the man. And in fact, I have spoken to him about coming on a bit of a run with me at some stage. It probably won't happen this year, but we will try and arrange it for early next year. where Darren and his beautiful other half, Anna, will come for a bit of a drive with us. We'd love to introduce Darren to the very many people I've already met around the country, and just see. I mean, he knows how wonderful you lot are. He knows what they like in Melbourne, and I'm pretty confident he's got a fair idea in a few other states. But I'd really like him to come and meet a lot of you who I've been lucky enough to meet over the last 3 or 4 months. You've changed our life, Laura and mine, and I can't thank you enough for that. And I think Darren's changing a few lives as well. He's doing pretty big things. Central bank digital currency. Well, central banks are dead, Jenny, man. If you haven't figured that out yet, you've got no hope. And whatever's coming is going to be a very, very bad thing. CBDC is digital fiat. No, don't think it will be digital fiat, Blue Jen. But what do I know? I'm not a financial advisor, and you should never take financial advice out of me unless it's get silver or gold. Have you done that yet? Have you bought any silver or gold? XRP now if you want gains, says Zach. All right, buy XRP. Now, I only know XRP because it sounds really cool to say. I don't know what it means, but I know another one too. Isn't there something else called X? Oh, no, I'm thinking of XLR, and that's a microphone plug. There you go. That goes to show you what sort of life I've had. Yes, I am still on YouTube, buddy. Thank you. Let me see, 2 channels. 2 of the 7 I've got, I'm still allowed on. Okay, so Neil, central banks, not happening. No central banks. I don't doubt there might be a digital currency, but I tell you, there'll be no central bank. So let's see how we go from that. Where are the trolls? All right, ladies and gentlemen, you may have figured out who at least one of the moderators is, or are. Is that the best way of saying that? My is's and my r's are all a bit of a problem. Look out, the Galactic Larrikins are in the house. So, yes, trolls will do that. Angela Spillman, Hamilton, Victoria. All right, Ange. My daughter's there at the moment. So I haven't had any great rousing response to come to Hamilton. I'm pretty confident my ex-wife doesn't want me to come to Hamilton. I'm also confident I don't care. I'll come to Hamilton if the people want me to come to Hamilton, no worries. Come along and see Andrew Stubbs, my old mate, Stubbsy. And I got a few other old mates floating around in Hamilton that I haven't seen in 25 years or more. Stubbsy and I used to play hockey together up at Padrina Park. Well, not together. We used to play against each other, probably. Try to kill each other back when we were 16. Yes, we do absolutely need moderators, and thank you, Sue. The Galactic Larrikins are reaching in with gay abandon, I think is the best way to describe it at the moment. Both hands, they will be keeping a feverish eye on the chats. But there is another one, and there probably will be another one in the not-too-distant future. In fact, maybe another 2. So, yeah, I'm very shortly going to have more bloody moderators than I have people watching. Yes, the Galactic Larrikins have another Hamilton idea. I think that, yeah, that's a Hamilton I haven't been to. So if there is anybody on Hamilton Island that would like us to come up and do a show, the Galactic Larrikins are very pleased and happy to drive all the way from Canberra to Airlie, I guess. And maybe we can do that in our North Queensland run, boys. You know, we can get to Airlie and just have a few days, hop over to the islands. You better be paying for that. Not too many unjabbed. Yes, I'm told that, Angela. Unfortunately, yes. Hamilton, I believe, is soundly involved in all of that, but not the only country towns, unfortunately. Hamilton in New Zealand, says Andrew McCluskey. I'm sure we're going to get a vote of confidence from the Galactic Larrikins to come to New Zealand. I don't know. I know a lot of people in America, a lot of people in Ireland, some people in Germany, Spain, Fiji, Indonesia, Bali, which is still Indonesia, I suppose, the UK. We've got viewers all over the world. haven't had a request. I've actually had a request to bring the show to England. They didn't want to pay to get us there, which, was unfortunate because I can't pay to get us there. But what about New Zealand? I would love to come to New Zealand and find out what's going on over there. A lot of things have been happening in New Zealand that the world doesn't know about. I keep hearing about the North Island being locked off by traditional owners. Of course, New Zealand hasn't been disarmed. Now, I'm not sure whether or not that whole North Island thing is still going on, but apparently a little while back, the Northerners decided to block any officials from coming on their land, which they have every right to do, especially when you're carrying a weapon of some kind. I think it was a great plan. I think it stymied them in the north. Did it make life hard everywhere else for you in New Zealand? We've heard about the protests and the long stays out in front of the Parliament House in Wellington. So yeah, love to come to New Zealand and find out what the people are saying and doing. I think you're pretty much on the same page as most of us. Some of you probably a few pages ahead. So that's great. Black Sheep, what are you telling me? Oh, you don't have to say that. He's had dinner with me, so he knows how I really feel. So look out, folks. Can I just tell you that Richardson's in Launceston, the Harley dealership that has a restaurant attached to it, go and have a feed there. The burger, spectacular, absolutely spectacular. So yes, Black Sheep and I don't agree on everything, quite right. But just because we don't agree doesn't mean we can't be friends. When we were discussing this a little earlier, part of the great thing about having friends that you can disagree with is that you learn. They may have information that you don't, and that's why they've formed the opinion. You might have information that they don't, which is why they formed their opinion. By sharing information, even if it is from differing perspectives, you are still learning. And if you can walk away without having an argument about your differing perspective, then much the better for it. Our community grows. We don't lose friends. We gain more knowledge about each other, a bit of trust in each other, a bit of expectation as to how the other might think. So that's something that's very important, I think, for us all going forward. We need to keep the lines of communication open and be respectful is the word I'm looking for. Respect. There is no respect anymore for what people do or for the work they put into things. And I've suffered a bit of disrespect recently, a great deal of disrespect, in fact, from some people that I was not expecting to be disrespected by in any way. I wear that on the chin, keeps the mind agile. And what did I learn from that? I learned you don't trust people as much as you maybe should or could. And maybe I'm a bit gullible. Maybe I trust people too soon. But respect is one thing. Disrespect is something completely different. And I'm afraid I'm not much of a sufferer of disrespect. And that will play out. Bitcoin is scarce, says Zach. Yes, I've heard that too. One of the Galactic Larrikins is a very switched on crypto dude. I'm not going to tell you which one. You can go up and see them all. They love being spoken to. DJ, Hamilton in Brizzy. I've been to the Hamo many times, and maybe we can organise a room there one night. Anywhere in Brisbane would be a good night. In fact, when I get back to Brisbane, I'll try and organise one down Cleveland Way. How would that be, out Cleveland Way? That means I don't have to drive very far. I'll see whether or not I can organise a room. I usually don't go and organise rooms for myself. I don't feel there's any point in me putting on a show unless there's somebody who actually wants to see me there. And up until very recently, I didn't know there was anybody really watching. So if you want a show in Brisbane, anywhere in Brisbane, let us know. And I can make that happen when I'm back in Brisbane. I'm not exactly sure when that's going to be. There's a Hamilton in Newcastle as well. My God, who knew these things? I was driving around Newcastle a week ago. I didn't see any signs to Hamilton, but I was probably looking for signs to somewhere else at the time, so Hamilton probably didn't register. What else have we got here? Don't forget the country also has the West Coast. Now, there is the $64,000 question. Do we go home, when I say home, I mean Hobart, via the West Coast or the East Coast? And I'm told there is a high road on the West Coast of Tasmania that goes through the highlands, which is very beautiful, but always pissing rain and bloody cold. So I guess if we're going to do that, we could try and find the eye holes and all the other bits. You can see that was a waste of time. I'll be wearing that. That's what we'll get into if I'm going down the West Coast. It would be fun too, though. I don't mind the ruggedness of the coast, but I actually think we're going the other way, down the East Coast, and there is a reason for it. I just can't tell you what that is at the moment because I can't remember it. Would love to see you guys in Ricardo in Western Australia. Watch this space. That's all I'll say. Watch this space. That's all I can say. Watch this space. How many people in minimum do we need? I would turn up to one person sitting on the other side of the table. Doesn't worry me how many people turn up. It's not about how many people turn up. It's about you lot watching. I just get to move around and do it from a different place. In fact, I've had nights where I thought we were going to have a show and it's not worked out the way I thought. So I've done pretty much just that. Done a show to nobody, but you didn't know because that's the way we can make it work sometimes. Using a laptop like this, it's pretty easy. How many people? No, don't need any minimum numbers. Talk to Sheree, SHEREE at VoFHQ.com. She will tell you what it's all about. Love Hamilton and the people remember. Okay. Yes, I do. Now that I'm thinking about it, just the thought of Hamilton and MacArthur takes me back to the Ash Wednesday bushfires. Is the peat still burning at MacArthur? There was peat that caught fire. When was that? 1987, 86? No, earlier than that. 82 or 3 or 4 or something like that, when the Ash Wednesday bushfires swept through, set all the peat on fire outside of MacArthur, and it's burnt for years. Carl, I should unblock Michael Brown. I don't even know who the hell Michael Brown is or why he's blocked. Galactic Larrikins? I don't know, is that one of yours? Did you go to the tech across the road from Hamilton High? No, I did not. They wouldn't have me. No, I went to Monterey. I was a boarder. So I had a lot of friends that went to the tech. And the tech at that stage, I want to say, was on Mount Bainbridge Road. And hello to Michelle and Coral Brabham, who used to live on Mount Bainbridge Road, maybe. Gee, that's a long time. I haven't said Michelle or Coral Brabham in 45 years. What a memory. What a memory. Launceston clock was right outside the hotel room. So freaking annoying. I haven't got a clock right outside of my bedroom. I've got a waterfall or a water wheel or I don't know. It's something that's beautiful, whatever it is. The Galactic Larrikins are waving their troll spanner around, which is an interesting new name for what you're calling it, boys. But there you go. That's all nice. Andrew's driving all the way from Shep to meet up with who? Angela. Oh, God. Are we having is this like Farmer meets a, I don't know, Farmer meets a foil hat wearer? Whatever it is. Shepparton. We're coming to Shepparton, November the 8th, which reminds me, I've got to book my ticket. November the 8th, we are going to be in Shepparton. doing a show up there at the Terminus Hotel, I think it was, from memory. Thank you to Francis and Eric, who looked after us so wonderfully while we were in Melbourne. Can't thank you guys enough. And Francis is part of the crew that's getting us up there too. Kev Shed, yes, we'll get that happening for you black sheep. Natalie, what have you got? Will the Australian currency remain for the foreseeable future? Well, a version of the Australian currency will remain for the foreseeable future, yes. What are we going to do with all those coins that have got the Queen's head on it, and all those other coins that may or may not have Charlie's head on it? I don't think they've started printing them yet or minting them yet. So we might get away with that. What would happen in the foreseeable future with our coinage? No, I think we will stay with what we've got for a little while, and then I think you might find there's a global standard going to be released. I'm just guessing. And that's just from a lot of stuff that I read behind the scenes that says it seems to be the way that they're thinking it will go. Crypto is decentralized. Yes, all right. You want to start in Portland, but don't know how to start. I gather you're talking about my place. Well, the easiest way to start is to contact Cherie at vofhq.com, SHEREE at vofhq.com. She has a fact sheet that she can email you and tell you what you need or what thought processes you might want to employ to start a My Place in your town. The last time I was in Portland, I think, was when Charles and Diana declared Portland a city. But I have an old mate who lives in Portland. In fact, I've probably got a few old mates who live in Portland. Mark Kennedy. I wonder if he's still... I haven't seen him since about my second year in radio. It's been a long time. But, yeah, Mark Kennedy used to come from down that way. And Chris Saylor, Popeye. Yeah, there'll be a few bugged out eyes at that one. Popeye's an old mate. In fact, we grew up together. He was about the same age as my sister, from memory. And his older brother, Mick, was close to me. So great folks, and hello, mate, if you're watching. Galactic Larrikins are at the helm of the starship with the voice of freedom. That is well put. Hang on, it could go anywhere. You're absolutely right. But you will notice, Andrew, that we haven't left them in charge of the audio this evening. So things are progressing nicely. G'day, Joz. Not at all to do with the COVID doomed. Here's one. We didn't tell you about this. On our way down, Laura and I, for whatever reason, I don't know, God must have been driving the car, because every time we came into a town, we came across the Masonic Lodge. So by the time we'd hit 2 or 3 of them, we decided that it must be a tour. So now we have undertaken to take a photo of ourselves and the Masonic Lodge at every Masonic Lodge we go past. So if you happen to see us hanging around out the front, you'll know why we're there. It's only a photo. We're not throwing anything at the building yet. Is Australia going to go to a gold-backed, silver-backed currency, and when? Does everybody know? There will be a short chaos situation, I think, Denise, because some people are not going to be aware. They're going to be denying. Their cognitive dissonance is going to be carrying on. It will stop them believing the reality that's happening around them. But the short answer is yes, it will be gold or precious metal-backed currency. And that's why I suggest you get a hold of Cass Smith if you haven't already done so. And if you've got a super in Big Super, get it out and get it into a self-managed fund that Kaz can set up for you. And once she set that up for you, you can head yourself off to somebody like Ainsley Bullion, ABC, whoever sells it, go and buy it and get as much of it as you can. Silver is what they're predicting will go through the roof. It has been an oppressed market for many, many, many years. There are about 7 kilos of silver goes into every electric car. There's 4 grams of silver goes into every solar panel made. So you get an idea that the silver price has been affected for some time. I would expect you're going to see some changes in the market within a couple of weeks at the most, I would have thought. But it could be a little bit bigger. I doubt we are going to see a huge shift overnight, but it is possible. I guess they have the power to do a whole heap of things, and a whole heap of things we didn't know they had the power to do. So they could well have the power to do that. Give me 1 second. So I'm just having a bit of a look here to... Cherie is a marvellous woman. See, if you get the mobile phone, you don't leave it on the bed, everything works out well. Launceston, the Cock and Bull Hotel on the 30th. The Cock and Bull Hotel. I was a sneaking suspicion we drove past that, didn't we, Black Sheep, tonight somewhere? The Cock and Bull Hotel on the 30th, and on Monday the 31st we are at the Mornington Inn, which is down Hobart Way. So if you would like to come along, Monday night there, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 1 till 3, you'll find me there. We'll be doing Magna Carta stuff. Fitz will be online. He's not turning up because, well, he doesn't fly. He doesn't do boats. He barely does cars. So we're doing okay to get him online. He'll have a bit of a chat, and we'll try and bring us up to speed with Magna Carta 1215. And there have been some very interesting things happening in the last little while. I know a lot of you folks who watch me also watch Mike Holt. Mike sent me an email today. It was a very interesting email. We might have Mike back on the show again. We'll see how he stands after he's read my reply. Be careful at the Mornington Inn. It used to be known as the Swinging Arms. Had a few blues there myself in the younger days. Good on you, Daniel. Mate, my fighting days are well behind me. That's why I bought Black Sheep. That simple. He just coughed his coffee up. Don't worry about that. Let's have a bit of a look here. Maria hosted the 4th hour of the Alex Jones show. A huge step for her. Yeah, good on her. That's great. I'm pleased for her. She deserves it. She's been looking for that international flavour thing for a while. So good luck to her. I think that's great. She's quite a talent, Maria. I've got a lot of time for her. People, I have no interest. I can't. I'm not that sensationalizing type person that Alex might like. I'm not saying that Maria is. I'm just not that person. They could be looking for something completely different. Well, Giles, this is an interesting question. I'm sure Black Sheep will look after me if I get caught in Tasmania for the lockdown. I'm more concerned about being caught in Tasmania for the lockdown because of my daughter being caught in Victoria during the lockdown. But I'm pretty confident she'll be okay too. She's with her mother. So, well, she'll be all right as she can be. And we'll get back together whenever we get back together. But if the lockdown happens while I'm in Tassie, then the lockdown happens while I'm in Tassie. Black Sheep and I are going to become very good friends. Or he might rethink that whole thing about friends having different opinions. I get wind up buried in a hue and pine forest or something. No, I didn't say that. The Mornington Inn has changed hands and it's held in the private function room. Thank you very much, Black Sheep. There'll be no punch-ons. It is a Magna Carta thing. We don't settle our fights with fists. We settle them with common law verbiage, which can sometimes feel like fists. Who else is floating around? Stella. I did hear Stella. I thought it was something to do with a Marlon Brando movie, but apparently it is something to do with crypto. Thank you, Nikki. You've got me on YouTube, so we're still alive on None2K and Voice of Freedom. They're the two YouTube channels that I still have going. None2K and Voi, VOI, space, Freedom, SEFREEDOM. All the rest of them are gone. We are live too on Rumble and Project Matilda, and of course they won't be taken down. It's raining and off and on Launceston. Have faith, says Black Sheep. We will do that. XRP Ripple XLM is the other one we were talking about. Thank you, Chris. Yeah, we had this really long conversation last night after the show about it all, and I've got to admit I didn't really understand much of it. Crypto eludes me. But if you ask the Galactic Larrikins, so do my sunglasses, shoes, jackets, smokes, wallet, socks, just about everything else. They're very good at finding them for me. That's why I keep them around. Any hope of seeing us in Perth? I'll just give you time to read that. I'm thinking that I would love to come to Perth. There is many reasons to come to Perth. A lot of wonderful people down south of Perth have invited me down there. Bustleton, Bunbury. Oh, where else? A couple of littler places from memory. Love to come to Perth. Love to come to Perth. We are possibly toying with that idea early next year. I can't comment for Ricardo, but what I will say is that there's, February, I'm being told by she who holds the reins of all things travel. I can come to Perth in February. There you go. So February is when we're coming to Perth. Cherie said so. If we don't come to Perth, blame Cherie. Oh, God, love her. She really is just the best pair of hands that I could possibly have. So please be gentle on Cherie. She is absolutely hammered with emails and phone calls, and she's doing her best to try and keep me together on the road, making sure I get to where I've got to be and I don't look bad when I get there. And in fact, she made sure that Black Sheep went and fed me tonight because she knew damn well I wouldn't go out and eat if you didn't. So I'm not calling you mum, but do love you, Cherie. Thank you. What else have we got down here? Ainsley Bullion is a good one too. What can I tell you about Ainsley Bullion? Oh, it's a Galactic Larrikins. Well, I've told you everything about it. They know all about it. I will tell you, folks, when I come back from Tasmania and get back to Melbourne, we're hopeful of doing something I think is going to be really cool. We're going to be allowed into Ainsley Bullion's boardroom in Melbourne, and we're going to sit down, hopefully, with one of the directors, but if not, certainly another well-knowledged person, and we are going to go through the different types of metal you can buy, what it is, what makes it so good, and how can you tell its purity and what's good from bad, what coins to buy, why do you buy certain coins, why don't you buy other coins, all this sort of information, what's good with silver, what's good with gold, what are the other precious metals. Platinum, I can think of, but I'm sure there must be others. Palladium, no, I think that's a nuclear type thing, isn't it? So we're going to find out about that. I'm really, really looking forward to it. And I would like to thank Cass Smith, who's helped set this up. I think I missed her after the show in Canberra the other night through some circumstances outside my control. And I haven't rung you yet, Cass. I'm sorry. I will give you a call and apologise in person. Get a hold of Cass and, check out the whole gold, silver, bullion thing. If you want to get into gold, silver, and get your super out of Big Super, Cass can help you with that. And if you have cash and you're looking to buy, Ainsley Bullion can help you with that. And can't wait to go and have a look on their boardroom table to see what they're going to lay out for us, but more particularly to learn about it, because it's just really, I find it really interesting. Okay, my 2 coins is not a great silver bank, so to speak, but I can tell you, folks, you get one of those things and it starts to shine at you. It can be a little addictive. I like shiny things. All of a sudden, can't afford them, but I like them, and I'm sure you would too if you could get at them. So go and check out Cass Smith if you're in super and want to get into self-managed super fund, which would include silver and gold. And keep watching. I think it's going to be around the 9th or 8th or it'll be the 9th or the 10th of November, where hopefully we'll get this thing happening with Ainsley Bullion. I'll try and lock that away tomorrow. No, tomorrow's Saturday. All right, it'll be Monday before I get to try and lock that away, but we'll let you know on Monday night how that goes. Very excited to be able to go in there and actually have a look and learn about gold and silver, because I literally know nothing about it. Especially, well, I tell you what I know about it. You don't offer to pick anybody else's up when you go and collect yours. Don't do that. Don't do that. Sort of waiting for the machine guns to pop out of the walls. It's an ugly look. News on the Queensland People's Trust, says John. Yes, I believe that the People's Trust is in train. They are, last I heard, which was over a week ago, they were getting their website together and the last of the paperwork done. So I would believe that it is a 15th away from kicking off, and I will find out more from Darren Bergwerf or Spiros. I'll try and give him a call over the weekend and see if I can get something out of him about that. It would be great to get an update, so we'll try and get Spiros away from the Prosecco and other funny nibbles he likes, and see if we can't get him on to tell us what's going on. ABC Bullion Gold, you can buy it, can you, Andrew? Okay. I'm pleased. Have heard, I don't know if ABC Bullion or Ainsley are struggling for this, but I have heard that certain, what would you call them, gold sellers, silver sellers, are having trouble with supply. I'm led to believe that the bigger sellers have been resupplied, and that if you want to buy now, you can walk out with your gold or your silver in your hand rather than having to pre-order it and hopefully have it turn up, and then you're able to get to it and use it. So check that out, and wherever you buy your gold or silver, I'm sure you know what you're doing, but make sure that you can take it home with you when you pay it. That would be me. Ali Mac, what is going on here? Seriously, Ali, I'm really disappointed. I just want everybody to know, folks, that Dan Bongino knows who the Galactic Larrikins are. He's got no idea who I am, but he knows who the Galactic Larrikins are. I wonder if they were helping him with audio. Just asking. Just saying. Good following from the southwest and across South Australia. Yes, we were looking at trying to incorporate South Australia and Western Australia together, because somebody's contacted us from down on the Fleurieu Peninsula. Somebody else has contacted us from Port Augusta. Somebody else has contacted us, I want to say, from Whyalla or Ceduna, maybe it was. And I have a friend in Coober Pedy who just walks around kicking the dirt and picking up opal. So I'm determined to go to Coober Pedy, if only to kick in the dirt and try and pick up opal. We probably put a show on at the same time from a dugout. I think that'd be pretty cool. But that's just pie in the sky stuff at the moment, outside of my friend who hasn't really expressed any interest or an invitation to come to Coober Pedy. We'll see what happens. That's probably the best way of doing that. And having a bit of a glance. Thanks, J1. Thank you for that. That's very nice of you. I appreciate it. Felix the Cat. Yes, you're still there. Don't worry about it, Black Sheep. Nobody's going to ban you. Well, not yet. Not while I'm in Tasmania. Let's say that. Shari, I'm not a legend at all. I'm just a very tired man with eyes hanging out of his head, and needs to go and have a good sleep before Black Sheep pounds on the door at some ungodly hour tomorrow morning and drags me off into the wilds of Tasmania, which I must say I'm really looking forward to. Yes. Oh, well, Mary, there you go. And Marianne, lovely to meet you. It was lovely to meet you. Can go to Collins Street, 357, 14th floor, and you will find gold and silver there to your liking. I don't know who drives that one. 4,000 dues go on to get Scotland, Wales. Avi wasn't allowed in, no, but Avi into New Zealand. That's a question from earlier. Yeah, Avi wasn't allowed in for whatever reason, but Avi's a journalist. I'm not a journalist. So, and it. Good luck to anybody who describes me as such. You would be making a very ill description of my skills. Yes, New Zealand, I too believe it is a beautiful place. Hello, Liza. Yes, that is a very good point, Zach. Jacinda Ardern lied her ass off. Her? Really? Ass off about Avi Yemeni. Very much so. Angela, you don't have to bribe me to come to Hamilton. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. I would love to come to Hamilton. And in fact, if I come to Hamilton, I'm going to get Bugsy Parham to come to Hamilton too, and we're going to talk old school cricket, and basketball, and touring around America. And I think Bugs is these days in Mount Gambier, Craig to his friends. And if you're looking for lawns mowed in that area, Craig Parham is the man to go and talk to. He does tell me the lawns are growing fairly smart at the moment, as did Galactic Larrikin number 3, Mark, who is also a lawnmower man. He's in Newcastle, though. His lawns are growing exponentially fast. Normally, he is 2 weeks between cuts. At the moment, he's getting phone calls between sort of 6 and 8 days, people saying, you are coming this week, aren't you? The place is overgrown. And that led us to an interesting conversation that we had on the side of the Hume Highway between Melbourne and Canberra with Mr. Bosey. He pointed out that, well, we'd all noticed that the ground from New South Wales all the way through to Melbourne is wonderfully green, unbelievably green. I haven't seen it that green ever. I don't remember seeing that particular portion of Australia green, like bright, flourishingly, amazingly green, ever. It really looks like the rolling hills of England or Scotland, only greener. It's amazingly beautiful. But it took Mr. Bosey to point out that we were under threat a little while ago that our meat was going to be taken from us, if you like. Foot and mouth disease, the scourge of Indonesia, was apparently jumping across the water and getting into our cows up north, which meant that all the cows and sheep in the country had to be killed. Of course, that rumour got put down fairly smartly. Nobody killed anything. And they're still happily mooing in the paddock. Well, let's get around to talking about chemtrails, flying. Mr. Bosey suggested that if the bad black hats were flying around trying to create droughts and El Nino or El Nino or whichever one it is that makes it go hot and, you know, deserts turn up overnight, turn green paddocks into deserts overnight, then they were trying to amp that right up. Mr. Bosey suggested that if that was the case, they wouldn't be poisoning, or they wouldn't be helping the ground too much. They'd be trying to poison whatever's in the ground. Well, I can tell you that between Melbourne and Canberra, the grass is 3 feet or 4 feet high, and the sheep, all you can see of the sheep in the paddocks is the top of their head or the top of their back and their head. They are literally buried in feed. There is so much feed on the ground. There should not be any worries for any livestock in that part of the world for years. So I guess a bushfire, because that'll take all the feed away, won't it? Watch this space for summer, folks. That's all I'll say. Watch this space for summer. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful scenery, though. If you happen to be driving along the Hume, you will not believe how green it is. I'm just having a bit of a glance to see who's here. Thank you, Black Sheep, sticking up for me. I don't know who you're sticking up for me for. If somebody's saying bad things, let them say it. Nobody cares, least of all me. Respect is earned. Yes. In theory. Took us a while, but we're getting there. What's this one all about? Thanks, Bruce. Yeah, well, it is a great thing. And yeah, Friday night social night down there tonight. So I guess they'll be just packing up about now. Always a good night down there at my place in Frankston. Friday night social night, if you want to get involved. Wednesday nights is a good night to head down there too. Okay, what am I going to try while I'm in Tassie? Okay, while I'm in, try a national pie. They're beautiful. You'll need 2. Oh, yeah. You can't have pies out of a microwave. I mean, seriously. Who has... Oh, yuck. Soggy, bloody... No, there'll be none of that. It'll definitely be straight out of the pie warmer. A crunchy pie is best as far as I'm concerned. And a national pie it will be. Black Sheep, we need to have national pies. I don't know why we need two, or are they particularly small? Seems like an oddly named pie, the national pie, if it's small. But anyway, that's just weirdness on my behalf. Takes years to enter. Oh, hang on. Well, you're all having a conversation about respect in there, and I know nothing about it. You knew Richard from Halton. Well done, Balance Chairs. I didn't know him at all. Bruce Benny, Hamilton, Victoria again. There's a lot of people from Hamilton, Victoria, or talking about Hamilton, Victoria tonight. Tamworth, yes, Clark. I am told Tamworth is a work in progress. I haven't been to Tamworth in a few years either. The last time I was there would be early 2000s, I want to say. Arlec, I was filming a horse competition, horse cutting, something like that, cow cutting competition. Yeah, we're doing that at Arlec. What a magnificent facility that is. If you're into horses, cows, anything like that, Arlec, the Australian National Livestock and Equestrian Centre or something like that it's called. Absolutely wonderful facility if you're into horses. And, well, I think they do cattle sales and other stuff there. Mel, you want to know what Mr. Bosey is doing? I suggest Mr. Bosey is probably having a sleep, because he's done as much driving as I have and more talking. So I dare say he'd be having a little bit of a rest. Okay, what are we saying, Ange? I think I have to come to Hamilton. If it's only 20, that would make my ex-wife very happy. That's fine. I would come for 2. It's no problem. It's not about how many people are at the event. It's about sharing the message and making sure that those that are at the event get the message and are able to share it. So stay calm, be calm. The answer is, of course, 42. And all will be revealed, I believe, in the not too distant future. Yes, Billy, you've nailed that one completely. There is a large problem with people being too comfortable now. Yes, part of the reason for that is they have their freedom back. You're right. What they perceive to be their freedoms back. That is going to be short-lived. And the Victorian election, should that ever actually be an election, is going to prove that to you. Because if that election goes ahead, you can be damn sure that Demon Dan will win it. And you can be sure, again, that within 3 months, you're going to be locked down tighter than a fish's twat. And it's going to be messy. Those people in Victoria that I've spoken to in the last week or so, they've had enough. They're not going to, they will not put up with more shit like that coming from Dan Andrews. And who can blame them? Absolutely nobody. If you haven't lived it, like the Victorians have lived it, folks, and we haven't, if you don't live there, you haven't lived it. And you don't have the right perspective on it until you actually go and see the people, because you can still see the trauma they're going through. It's impacted them badly. And it's impacted every level of society. Children's suicide up, adult suicide up. It's just absolutely horrendous. And all for nothing, all because these evil bastards in power want to thin the herd and make slaves out of the rest of us. It is just evil beyond words. And that's why I'm looking forward to helping end it, if we can. Well, not if we can. We will. I know I'm probably not going to be allowed to pull the rope, but I may be allowed to play the music on the DJ desk. We'll see what happens. It is tremendously sad, Elsie, yes. I don't dwell on it often, and nor should we all, because it will only bring us down. And we have to learn acceptance. People made these choices, whether they were coerced or they made the decision, after thinking about it and making the choice themselves. It's sad, but we all make choices at times that are wrong for us. It is sad that many people were coerced, and my ex-girlfriend is one of those, and I believe she's now suffering vaccine injury quite severely. So it's affecting all of us in different ways. I just get more angry. Can't wait for this to end, folks. Can't wait for these bastards to be brought to justice. Can't wait. Dan is evil incarnate, yes, and we would believe in that wholeheartedly. Now, I had a we in Victoria here. Where did that go? Yes, Jenny. Praying that the election won't be rigged and the bastard will do whatever he can. Well, I think you can be guaranteed if that election goes ahead, there will be some scrutiny of the votes. I think that's probably the easiest way to describe that. Scrutiny. There are a lot of people watching. A lot of people watching. So many ambulances quietly driving about in Hamilton. They're quietly driving about everywhere, unfortunately. I saw a lot. Well, I don't suppose it's unusual in Sydney to see a lot of ambulances, but we did see a lot of them in Sydney. So I saw quite a few in Canberra as well on our way down, not so much on the way back. But the sirens are ever present, although I'm not hearing too many in Launceston tonight. So maybe that's a good thing. Yeah, Bill, it is. It's a shame when the ones we love are slowly, yeah. Especially when they never wanted to be part of it in the first place. That's the bit I'm having a hard time with. Someone in the Australian chat said they'd lost 7 people in her family. My God, that doesn't surprise me. I think Guru has lost 2 or 3, older aunties and uncles, that kind of thing. We do have, I can't say we've lost anybody in my family yet. And pretty much everybody in my family except my daughter is jabbed up. So fingers crossed. We'll see how it all goes. Yes, I do really believe. Yes, I do, Wilma. I do really believe your Victorian election will be rigged. Yep, I do. I believe it was rigged last time. I believe it'll be rigged next time if we don't get it right this time. So, yes, the level of corruption in politics, not just in Victoria, but in politics in general in this country is huge and squalid, would be the way I would describe it. The level is huge and it is squalid, and it needs to be ended as much as anything else. I would suggest Western Australia currently is leading the race between which arsehole state holds the title. Those most recent amendments to laws that they have in Western Australia are by far the most egregious laws in the country, but have no doubt Dan Andrews will employ pretty much the same laws if he gets back in, because that's what they like to do. Let me scroll down, try and get towards the end here because I'm going to get going. I've been talking for too long and I will fall asleep on you. Yes, on Red Alert, they have already given the hint that Dan will win again. And Dan has already given you the hint that Victoria is going to be in floods for the next 5 to 7 weeks. So I don't know how you've gone over the weekend. I haven't looked into, or in the last week, with rain in the Victorian Alps, washing the snow down into the river systems. Expect more water. That's the only way they could possibly draw out a flood to 5 to 7, 8 weeks. It's the only way they could do it, and that is using the snow. I guess, of course, they could have a torrential downpour, like a Queensland downpour over Victoria. That'd probably do it too. But yeah, I think they're going to go about it the other way. All right, folks, I'm going to love you and leave you because it's bloody late. And do you want to have a look at my eyes? That's how bad the eyes are. I can't even open them. So, yeah, not flash. I will be back tomorrow, though, and we're going to do a show tomorrow night from the North Motton Hall in North Motton, I suspect, somewhere between Ulverston and Penguin. I must admit, when I was first told I was going to be doing a show somewhere between Ulverston and Penguin, I had my doubts. I was wondering about where I was going to be buried and whether my family would ever find me again. But I'm assured that it's all on the up and up. And I've organised some good friends from Ulverston to come with me, so we should be okay. It'll be a fun night. Looking forward to that. And then at the Cock and Bull in Launceston on the 30th, look forward to seeing you there. Hello Malibu, she's the one organising that one. And then we are heading south to Hobart to the Mornington Inn, and we'll do a live show on the Monday night there. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays between 1 and 3, some Magna Carta education, which won't be online. You won't be able to see that unless you come in and do it live with us. And the Friday night show, not sure where that's going to come from yet. It might be somewhere special. We're also thinking about... well, we're going to go and do a few little interesting things. I might get the opportunity to go around and have a look at a few touristy things. So at some point, we might get a show happening from Port Arthur. Just depends on what time of the day I get there and what we can talk about. So we'll see what we can do about that. Really looking forward to going and checking out Port Arthur. Really looking forward to just the drive from Launceston down to Hobart. Got to say, Launceston is just a beautiful town, and the old buildings, while I'm told are not necessarily as old as they may appear, are certainly very nice. So I love that. Apparently, the further south you go, the older the buildings get, which would make sense considering that Hobart was the first settlement in Tasmania. I'm really looking forward to seeing some of those old houses, those old pubs, those old everything. Really love old stuff. And Port Arthur is high on the list of things to go and see. So I'm going to go to bed, folks. I've kept you up late enough. You can see what a mess my late nights have been. Hanging out with the Galactic Larrikins does this to you, because one of them snores. I mean, I'm not going to tell you which one snores just yet, but I can tell you one of them, boy, does he know how to snore. No, I'm not going to tell you. It's been a pleasure, folks. Look forward to seeing you again tomorrow night. Give my love to the Galactic Larrikins, or just give them shit, because I do. If you're on the roads, be safe. Don't be one of those dickhead drivers, hey?
You let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up. Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life. It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line. That's why we're going back.
Does anybody else want to stay?
Let's rock!